Global Weather Forecast News Bulletin, update on Hurricanes Alda and Humberto. Good day to all our viewers tuning in to the Global Weather Forecast News. We are pleased to be with you again in this familiar time slot. Ladies and gentlemen, the final days of September 2025 are marked by an exceptionally complex and turbulent weather pattern across the Atlantic Basin. At present, two major tropical systems are under close watch. One powerful hurricane that has already reached an extremely dangerous intensity, named Humberto, and another developing tropical low near the Bahamas, which is highly likely to be named Alda in the coming hours. These two systems are not only evolving independently but may also interact with one another, producing a range of unpredictable scenarios for the southeastern seaboard of the United States. In today's bulletin, we will present an overview of their current status, compare forecast models, analyze potential risks, and update weather conditions across other parts of North America and Canada. First, let us look at the overview map showing the current locations of these tropical systems. Out in the eastern Atlantic, Hurricane Humberto has undergone rapid intensification, reaching Category 5 strength, the highest rating on the Saffir-Simpson scale. This is the second Category 5 hurricane of the season, and also the second consecutive year that the Atlantic has recorded two storms of this intensity. Humberto is tracking mainly north-northeastward, staying well offshore, but its influence is not confined to the central Atlantic alone. Its east-west fluctuations may directly affect the track of the system currently organizing near the Bahamas, that is, Alda, turning westward, over the northern waters of the Bahamas. A tropical disturbance is being monitored closely. The U.S. National Hurricane Center has officially upgraded this system to a potential tropical cyclone, and within the next 24 to 48 hours it is expected to strengthen into Tropical Storm Alda. While this development is not surprising, what stands out is the storm's unusually uncertain path. After intensifying and moving northward near the Bahamas, the system may run into resistance from a strong high-pressure ridge to the north, while also being influenced by Humberto's outflow to the east. This tug-of-war opens up several possible scenarios. Alda may be steered out to sea, stall offshore for several days, or even loop back westward to directly impact the U.S. mainland, anywhere from Florida to Georgia and the Carolinas. This uncertainty is clearly illustrated in the forecast spaghetti models. For the first 48 hours, models generally agree Alda will intensify and track along the Bahamas, approaching the southeastern Florida coastline. Beyond 72 hours, however, the tracks diverge significantly. Some solutions push Alda eastward into the open Atlantic, while others slow it down under the blocking high, shifting it northwest or even back toward the U.S. coastline. Forecasters emphasize that confidence beyond 72 hours remains low, and residents in high-risk regions must not let their guard down. Even if Alda does not make landfall, indirect impacts could still prove damaging. The first concern is heavy rainfall. The Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, and the U.S. eastern seaboard from Florida through Georgia and the Carolinas are all in line for prolonged rainfall. Accumulated totals are expected to range from 2 to 4 inches, with some local areas potentially exceeding 6 inches. Particularly in South and North Carolina, such rainfall, falling on already saturated ground, may trigger flooding and localized flash floods, especially in low-lying or hilly areas. Next is the threat of high surf and coastal flooding, with Humberto active in the eastern Atlantic and Alda closer to shore. The combined influence on tides and waves could produce serious beach erosion, impacting coastal infrastructure, roadways, ports, and residential areas. Another pressing concern is the potential for rapid intensification. Sea surface temperatures near the Bahamas remain warm, above 28 degrees Celsius, supplying abundant energy to fuel strengthening. If upper-level winds relax and dry air stays away, Alda could quickly intensify from a tropical storm to a Category 1 hurricane within just 24 hours. With so many uncertainties, preparedness for the worst-case scenario is essential. Authorities have already issued early alerts. Central and eastern Bahamas are now under tropical storm warnings. Florida's east and central coasts have been notified of the likelihood of strong winds and heavy rain in the coming days. Probabilities for tropical storm-force winds stand at 30 to 40% along the Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina coasts. North Carolina, meanwhile, faces higher rainfall potential, up to 6 inches, along with flash flood risks. Residents are urged to monitor updates closely and be ready to evacuate if directed by local officials. While Alda remains unpredictable, Humberto, though far offshore, cannot be ignored. As mentioned, Humberto is now a Category 5 hurricane with sustained winds exceeding 160 miles per hour in the central Atlantic. Even without direct landfall, Humberto's atmospheric influence may alter Alda's trajectory. This dual-system interaction complicates forecasting, as strong cyclones near each other can either draw closer or repel in unexpected ways. Meteorologists stress that closely tracking both Humberto and Alda is crucial to improving accuracy in the coming days. Now let us shift focus to other parts of North America and Canada. In Canada, British Columbia is experiencing an extended period of heavy rainfall. In Tofino alone, totals have already reached 100 millimeters in a short timeframe. Forecasts indicate more downpours in the days ahead, heightening risks of flash flooding and landslides. By contrast, the prairie provinces are under the influence of high pressure, bringing dry and warmer conditions. Ontario, including Toronto, is enjoying sunny days, with Toronto near 24 degrees Celsius and Windsor approaching 27 degrees Celsius, favorable for outdoor activities. Though ongoing dry conditions raise concerns about rainfall deficits. In eastern Canada, the Maritimes are relatively dry, but Newfoundland is expected to face a major rain event early next week. Across the United States, outside of the southeast affected by Alda, much of the country is under stable weather. The central and western regions are seeing warm, sunny conditions, with temperatures running above seasonal averages. However, by late next week, a push of colder air from the north is projected to sweep southward, bringing cooler conditions and signaling autumn's firmer arrival. In summary, the weather outlook in the coming days is both complex and high risk. Alda may remain offshore, but it also carries the potential to loop back and strike land, producing widespread flooding. Humberto, while distant, continues to exert influence on the broader atmospheric setup, indirectly shaping Alda's future. Residents across the Bahamas, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and the entire U.S. East Coast should remain vigilant. Meanwhile, communities in Canada, particularly British Columbia and Newfoundland, must be mindful of heavy rainfall hazards. We stress once again, this is no time for complacency. If you live in a threatened area, prepare your emergency kit now, including drinking water, non-perishable food, medicine, flashlights, batteries, and fuel. Keep your communication devices fully charged for timely updates. And if evacuation orders are issued by local authorities, comply immediately to protect yourself and your family. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's Global Weather Forecast News Bulletin. We will continue to monitor closely the developments of Alda and Humberto, along with other significant weather systems, and deliver the latest updates in our upcoming broadcasts. Thank you for watching, and we wish you and your families safety and peace throughout this hurricane season.